You ever stop and think about the invisible world that powers the millions of automated machines we rely on every single day? I mean, from getting a quick snack to life-saving medical scans, there's this hidden engine of promises working behind the scenes. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it really takes to keep our automated world up and running. So let me ask you this. What could a simple snack machine possibly have in common with a multi-million-dollar MRI scanner? I know, it sounds like a setup for a bad joke, right? One is for, grabbing a bag of chips when you're hungry. The other is about absolutely critical medical care. But the answer connects them in a way that's, well, it's surprisingly fundamental. And the answer is actually pretty simple. Both of them, whether it's low stakes or incredibly high stakes, depend entirely on a hidden world of promises, a whole system designed to make sure they work exactly when you need them. The success of both of these machines really comes down to one single word: reliability.
But we've all been there, haven't we? That moment of just pure frustration when a machine fails. Your snack gets stuck, the payment doesn't go through, or even worse. So let's talk about what happens when those promises get broken.
For a business, this is so much more than just a little annoyance. Research from places like Vending shows that a single machine being out of order for just one day can cost a business hundreds of dollars. That's lost sales, that's unhappy customers. Now, imagine that across a fleet of hundreds or even thousands of machines. The costs add up fast. And this right here really puts the stakes into perspective. When a vending machine fails, yeah, it's annoying. You lose your snack, you gotta chase down a refund. But when an MRI machine fails, the consequences are absolutely critical. We're talking delayed diagnoses, rescheduled appointments, and a real risk to patient care. It's the same root problem, unreliability, but the fallout is on a whole different level. So that brings us to the big question. What's the fix? What does it actually take to stop these failures before they even happen? How do you build a system of promises that you can truly count on? Well, the solution really rests on three key pillars. All right, our first pillar is all about technology. It's about giving these machines a voice, a sort of nervous system, a way to tell us what's happening on the inside in real time. This is their digital brain. And that digital brain is powered by a pretty cool technology called telemetry. Think of it like a constant health report streaming from the machine. Telemetry lets a machine send all its vital information, sales data, how much product is left, its internal temperature, even the status of individual little parts, directly to an operator, no matter where they are in the world. And this right here gives us a fascinating peek into that digital brain. This is the Arduino dashboard from the Cynthia X platform. So instead of just guessing what's going on, operators can see exactly what's happening across their entire fleet. Which machines are hot sellers, which ones need a refill, and, this is the important part, which ones are showing early signs of a potential problem. And this is where the power of that central system really just shines. Operators can manage the whole shebang from a single screen. They can track sales, monitor the machine's health 24/7, push out software updates without ever leaving the office, and handle all kinds of modern cashless payments. It completely transforms machine management from this reactive guessing game into a proactive, data-driven strategy. Okay, so we've covered the digital brain, but let's be real. That's only as good as the physical machine it's living in. As powerful as all this tech is, it's really only half the battle. You've also got to take care of the hardware itself. This quote from VetNet just nails why physical maintenance is so critical. These small, tiny issues that seem like no big deal, they have a nasty habit of escalating into huge, catastrophic, and really expensive failures. Proactive care isn't just about keeping things clean, it's about preventing a total disaster. So what does this wellness routine for a machine actually look like? Well, it's a constant cycle. It means doing regular inspections, looking for any wear and tear. It means thorough cleaning to stop jams and gunk from building up, performing little minor repairs like tightening loose screws, and of course, keeping that digital brain updated with the latest software. It's like the machine's essential physical checkup. Okay, so we've got smart tech monitoring the machine, and we have a maintenance plan to keep it physically healthy. But how do you guarantee it all actually happens? I mean, how do you turn good intentions into a binding commitment? That brings us to our final and maybe most important pillar, the service promise. This promise gets formalized in a document called a service level agreement, or you'll hear it called an SLA. This is a contract that doesn't just hope for reliability, it defines and demands it. It sets out specific, measurable goals for performance, uptime, and support. This, right here, is where accountability lives.
Now, it's really important not to get an SLA mixed up with a warranty. They're totally different things. A warranty is reactive. It's basically a promise to fix the product if it breaks. An SLA is proactive. It promises the service will perform to a certain standard, and it focuses on preventing that break in the first place by guaranteeing things like uptime and maintenance schedules.
So what kind of promises are we even talking about here? How about this for a number? A server uptime of 99.95%. Companies like Synthetics actually commit to that. That's a solid guarantee that the digital brain of the whole operation will be online and working almost flawlessly, all the time.
And what happens when something critical does go wrong? Well, a good SLA defines that too. It can guarantee a response time for major issues, making sure that a technician is actively working on the problem within just a few hours, not a few days. That's huge for minimizing downtime and protecting revenue. Okay, so this brings us to what I like to call the uptime equation. How do these three pillars, the tech, the maintenance, and that binding promise, all combine to create that rock-solid foundation of reliability we've been talking about?
It all comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful formula. You take smart technology, you add proactive maintenance, and you hold it all together with binding agreements. And what does that equal? The two things every operator wants: reliability for their customers and profitability for their business. That's the uptime equation. And you can literally see the impact of this system right here. Look at this. With no system at all, your uptime might be hovering around a measly 60%. Then you add the tech and the regular maintenance, and boom, you jump up to 85%. That's way better. But when you add the accountability of that SLA on top, you can push that uptime to over 99%, maximizing every machine's potential.
So really, the best way to think about this entire system is like a complete health plan for your machines. The telemetry, that's your 24/7 vital signs monitor. The maintenance, that's the wellness routine to keep it in shape. And the SLA, well, that's the comprehensive insurance policy that guarantees the quality of care.
Which really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our world relies more and more on automation, and as the technology that powers it all becomes more and more invisible to us, the question of accountability becomes more important than ever. Because it's these systems we've talked about today, the tech, the maintenance, and the promises, that are the true unseen engines making sure our world just works.